Do you know what, let's kick this video off with a cold start. So this car has just arrived. It is a little bit dusty and dirty. Ignore the mess, guys. But yeah, cold start. Let's put the camera on the tripod. That'll do. Wait there a sec, wait there. The Clio. It's a bloody Clio and it sounds like that. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? So it is a 1.6 4-cylinder, in and out of shadow there, turbocharged engine, 200 brake horsepower, and it's just coming with a bit of stock. This is my favourite purchase of the week. Bit of a no-brainer really. It's nice to get a Clio on the channel as well. So very dusty here today, very hot. Tractor in the background there ain't helping the dust situation, but forget about all of that. Let's cut to some cinematics and get that bit of food off my lip as well. And today's video we're going to talk about the HPI check, have a little wander around it, all the usual stuff, and then we're going to go for a little drive and do draggy times on it, alright? So let's get on with it. So this is the 4th generation Clio RS. Obviously the RS badge carries a lot of, yeah, it's going to be fun doing this today. Yeah, the RS badge carries a lot of history. You can see this car's got the plate to go with it. And I think the last time I had an RS Renault on the channel was about a year ago. It was a Megane RS, and I was so impressed with it. It was just the amount of effort that they put into that car. I remember using the word effort a lot in that video. It was just such an impressive thing. And I don't know, I'm a bit of a sucker really for overlooking these cars. I like the fact that they've done it as a 5-door, this Clio, because it kind of makes it more appealing to more people. It's got the black wheels in it with a couple of little marks on it, but then as you wander around the body you see like loads of little indicators or signs that you are in a bit of a special car. You've got the Renault Sport logo there, got a little Golf GTI just pulled up here, got customers over there, and then as we come around we've got an RS badge just on the wing there. Then at the bottom got a turbo sticker. I was a bit unsure if that was stock or not, or just been put on our factory, but that looks quite good. Renault Sport badge there, RS badges on the wheels. As we come around the back we've got the carbon diffuser, which isn't stock. It's just got a bit of carbon at the bottom there, but the rest of the diffuser is of course from factory. Dark rear lights. This is a pre-facelift car, by the way. It's 2015. They facelifted them in 2016, and they just sort of modernised it a little bit here and there, as they do with every facelift going. Yeah. So rear door handles are up there again, just concealing the fact that it's a 5-door. Then on the inside, I don't know if I just showed you the seats there and the cinematics, but the Clios, generally, these RS models, they tend to have really sort of figure hugging seats. They really do, they do hold you well. We've got the little RS badge again in the headrest, another RS badge at the bottom of the steering wheel, and I love all this. I talk about this stuff a lot, like all these little things, just reminding you what car you're in. And I know it's just a little sports hatch and like a little pocket rocket or whatever you want to call it, but you do want constant reminders like that everywhere you look to know that you are in something quite special. Even the red trim around the gear stick there, obviously it's an automatic gearbox, by the way, guys. They dropped the manual gearbox apparently and introduced a dual clutch gearbox with flappy paddles in a little car like this. It's going to be great fun to drive. So I haven't actually driven it yet, by the way, so I am really looking forward to driving it. And whilst I'm pointing the camera over there, I just want to show you that Renault Sport badge on the dash there as well. So let's just put a camera up in the window and quickly go through the HPI. Oh my god, man, bloody boiling. Let's start the engine first. It sounds so good. It sounds like it's tuned, like that's in normal mode, yeah. One sec, let's put the aircon on before I continue banging on. We need aircon ASAP. Yeah, so that's in normal mode, and you've got this little RS drive button here, which does actually make a noticeable difference to the sound of the exhaust. Ready? So that's on tick over, yeah? So if we now switch back to the normal mode, calms down a little bit, give it a little rev. yeah, it sounds really good. But then when you put the RS drive button back on and then rev it, it does like little burbles. Brilliant. Now the thing that I'm most looking forward to about this car is this gearbox. A good gearbox really does make up for the overall drive of a car, and I don't think I've ever driven a little car like this with a flappy paddle dual clutch gearbox. I think the Minis have got them, but generally you don't get little cars with decent gearboxes like this. So it'll be interesting to see how it drives. But before we do that, let's do the usual stuff. Quickly put up HPI. 24 degrees, guys. Right, so let's get rid of the weather. Let's quickly talk about draggy times. This car weighs, I've got that on the screen here as well, 2,820 pounds, which is 1,279 kilos. So it's a lightweight car. I would say somewhere, I don't know, Kia Pro Ceed GT, that done in 6.71 seconds. That was 16th place. Astra VXR, somewhere around there, though, about 15th place. We'll see shortly, though, yeah? If we now go back to the HPI, 5 registers are clear, that's all good. Plate transfer just flags up sometimes as a negative that a car's had a previous plate transfer. Obviously, you can see it's got a private plate on it, and then the previous reg is LP64GUX. Spec check, let's look at that. New base price was £18,200. Optional equipment was £1,245, making it just under 20 grand, including that brand new. Optional equipment was the Cup chassis pack. Yeah, I'm learning stuff about this car. I didn't deal with the customer when they come in, so I don't know loads about it. Renault ID flame red paint. £595 option this paint colour was, and it sort of flips in the sunlight, so it's got a bit of gold in it as well, which is quite a nice thing. But that's the only two options it's got, all right? Then if we go back to market values, that's powered by Auto Trader. Bit all over the place the values of these are. Trade value 6,480, and then retail values 8,682. But that is based on it having 63,000 miles, and it's actually done nearly 46,000 miles, all right? So the values would in fact be a little bit higher than that, all right? So if we come out of there and go back into national mileage checks, it's all clear. Then if we look at CAT Black Book Live, so this is obviously CAT valuations, based on it having 60,000 miles, which it doesn't have, which is pointless. Let's look at 50,000. Based on it having 50,000 miles, there you go, that's the nearest indicator it will give you. Retail value is 8,950, but if you look on Auto Trader, so we go over to Auto Trader now. So this is Renault Sport Clios with up to 60,000 miles. Cheapest one on the net is 8,995. So 13 plate with 31,000 miles. The next one up is a Cat N car with 48,000 miles. One after that is 51,000 miles for a 64 plate car, and then R1 is the one after that, obviously with the red paint, 45,000 miles. And it's got an indicator there saying good price. It's priced about right at 9.5 grand. This car will probably go off to one of our traders, so by the time this video goes live, it wouldn't surprise me if it's sold. All right, so let's now let's hit the road, yeah. This gearbox feels amazing. It's even got a little burble as it goes up the gears. Like, not many cars do that, do they? Listen. Drop down. We're currently in auto mode, by the way. Just done a little rev match as it dropped there as well. So that camera in a bit of a funny position. Give it some of that, shall we? Yeah, it's better, isn't it? Right, have a little listen. Going up the gears. Because I've been driving the SMG E46 M3 for the last few days as well, obviously because the sun's been out. The gearbox on that is a single clutch gearbox, and they are so slow. Like, a lot of people slate them because they don't work very well, but they do work very well. They're just a single clutch rather than dual clutch, which means they're half the speed of a dual clutch, I suppose. But yeah, in comparison, this is just absolutely spot on. It's flipping the throttle as it drops the gears, and yeah, it just sounds so good. So I have done the whole of this journey so far in the Renault Sport mode with the RS drive button on. I am going to leave that on. I'm now going to just flick the pedal, drop it to first. Let's have a little feel. Listen to that. It's got like little DSG farts. Oh my god. What a wicked little car. Now it's mad really that I don't ever look at these. I don't know why. Maybe it's not even about brand snobbery. I'll drive anything. I love all types of cars. I just tend to be so drawn to German and Japanese cars, and stuff like this just gets overlooked. But when you drive these cars, a bit like when I got in the driver's seat of the Megane RS last year, I just absolutely rated it. I absolutely loved it. It was such a great thing to drive. I hope that, oh, why the camera just seems to be bouncing around a lot lately. Very annoying. But yeah, what a wicked thing to drive. Loads of torque, loads of power, and just feels such an easy little thing to drive, as you'd imagine from the size and the weight of it. Is that a taxi? That is a taxi. Yeah, it's a random taxi, Audi Q5. But sometimes I said about the gearbox making up for the overall character of a car. It's got a wicked little engine in this as well, but the sound as well is another big factor. When you've got all of that combined, it is does make up for such a fun drive, and that is exactly what this car is. So let this Q5 go out. Royal cars. Interesting. Let's pull out. This is brilliant. What a quality car. So let's do draggy times, yeah? Let's see how it gets on. It reminds me of something. Hold on. Listen to the pops and bangs coming out the back of this. This is it. Here we go. Got to leave that window open a bit because it is boiling in there. The aircon is on, but I can't really put it on full whack because it's going to drown you lot out with wind noise. To try it. Now the 0 to 60 time on this car is 6.7 seconds, and I think generally the 20 to 70 mile an hour times equate to a very similar amount. So we will see shortly how quickly it done it, but it does feel quicker than I expected it would be. I kind of expected I'd get in the driver's seat of this car, and is that camera seeing me very well? It's sort of such a funny day to film. But yeah, I expected it wouldn't be that quick because it is only a 1.6 litre engine, but it's actually quicker than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, I'm quite impressed with it. Go. Come on. Little Clio. That's it. I won't look at the times yet. I'll do a couple more and I'll come back to you in a sec, alright? Really strange experience doing a video on this car, because sometimes it's difficult doing videos on cars like this because I kind of expect that it's not going to impress me. And this car's done the complete opposite. It is so much more exciting than I thought it would be. It's so much more fun, so much quicker, just so much more drivable. Even like the build quality, that's something that is probably going to come up in the comments a little bit, because it ain't quite German build quality. Can you compare it to Ford and Vauxhall? Possibly, I would say it sort of sits in that category. How does it compare to a Fiesta ST? Is it better than Fiesta ST? I think it does kind of sit in a league of its own. One, because it's obviously the Renault brand, and secondly because of the gearbox. I think if you want this style of gearbox, you've got to go for this car. And I've been driving it and I've been thinking this reminds me of a car, and I couldn't think until about 30 seconds ago what car it reminds me of. And I don't really know why it reminds me of this car, but it absolutely does. It reminds me of the Alfa Romeo 4C that I had like years ago. I don't know how long ago it was. And I think the reason why, maybe just because they sound very similar, or even the gearbox just, do you know what, I wonder if it's got the same bloody gearbox. It could well have, couldn't it? But it seems to drive, or something about it just feels very similar to that. And overall drivability, I just, yeah, absolutely rate it. Now performance wise, as I was doing the draggy times, I would have put money on it that this would have beaten so many cars on the leaderboard, right? It feels like the quickest 1.6 car I've ever driven in my life. It honestly feels like the response of the throttle, the response of the gear changes, the way it just, it's tearing, absolutely tearing through the gears. It's a quick car. But then when you look at the draggy times, which I'm going to tell you what they are right now, it done 20 to 70 mile an hour in 7.09 seconds. That puts it right down near the bottom, and I'm actually baffled because I don't get it. It feels bloody quick. So the summary for me and this car is, I absolutely rate it. Build quality, I don't feel like there's anything lacking in here. Obviously, if you pick me up and sat me in like a Polo GTI right now, there would be things that I would probably tear this car apart on. But as I sit in the driver's seat of this car, I think it all appears very nice. It's got everything going for it, and I like the way it looks, I like the way it drives, I like the way it, I was going to say performs, but it don't perform very well, but drivability wise it does. And yeah, price point, it is quite a lot of money for what it is, I would say. Yeah, but you know what other car in its category is less money and has a gearbox like that? So yeah, absolutely rate it. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching. This is my car of the week. If you want to see more of these style of videos, do hit subscribe for a new video every Wednesday and Sunday at 6 o'clock. And do me a favour, hit the bloody like button. I'm trying to get like a couple of thousand likes on every video. I deserve that tonight. So let's go for 2,000 likes again, please. Yeah, hit like. And if you're on Instagram as well, give me a follow on Instagram at Calvin's Car Diary before I put my thumb up and say bye. That's it. That's all I'll say. Yeah, bye. I'll see you on the next video. In the next episode of Diary of a Car Trader, I've just bought a seriously cool car that I know loads of you are going to like, and for now I'm sure you can guess what it is anyway, but basically it's a Japanese convertible with a VTEC. I'll see you on Wednesday.